how did artificial intelligence, well, or slash machine learning kind of help you with that? And what are your thoughts on it in terms of data science? Because I know it's really big in that sector and useful for a lot of things.
Yep, yep. Especially these days with all these generative AI tools and all the hype around it. So actually, this project was before the generative AI came into the picture. So if you asked me this question 2 years ago, I would have said that, yep, AI is nice, but I wouldn't. I prefer just to use, say, machine learning and
Mhm.
statistical methods because the core is very much the same, except if you go for some very specialized applications or use cases like image recognition or speech recognition. However, today, now, of course, we have the LLMs, we have ChatGPT. So now
Mhm.
AI is gaining a new meaning in a broader sense. And in my opinion, and also in my daily practice, and also I just made a survey on LinkedIn and I got like 500 replies. So it's not just my opinion, but like, my not so professionally curated, but still like in terms of numbers, visible survey that half of the people who are in data science use ChatGPT on a daily basis as a co-pilot coding assistant. So I think that's a very strong sign or very strong indicator of the impact of AI. And if I'm right, about 85% of the people use ChatGPT on a weekly basis in my network. So,
Okay.
so in this case, well, I would say that this helps quite a lot to speed up coding process, to speed up prototyping, even to speed up production development, because, we don't have to spend that much time in Googling, in like reading documentations and digging in Stack Overflow, but we just ask ChatGPT, which will very, very nicely and usually in an efficient and almost bug-free way compile all these things and saving us hours each day. So that on the one hand, we can make more progress, and then on the other hand, we will have more time to learn new things and focus on the bigger picture of our projects and like figure out bigger, nicer, more innovative ideas.
Makes sense. And so what are some challenges? Because now we see the future. We're starting to see a little bit of the future with data science, and a lot of it is the integration of machine learning to then free up space for other things as well. And then also just to be more efficient instead of spending so much time and effort on this on learning something new. What are some challenges that you think data scientists today are facing?
Mm, there are probably many technical challenges from getting the right data to having the right computational resources. But if I have to pick just one, I would say it's communication because now much more than ever, we need to find a way to make general public understand and aware of the work we are doing so that we are not, I know, usually, hopefully, we are not invading their private space. We are not magicians practicing some dark arts, but actually doing lots of quantitative works that can help and that can make our lives easier, our work better. For instance, AI won't take our jobs away, hopefully, but will help us do our jobs better. So, and also there are just so many buzzwords around that, and some people will get
Mhm.
like afraid of these buzzwords, like machine learning, statistical modeling, LLMs. And I think that the development of technology is not keeping up. Sorry, the communication about being literate about the developments of in tech, data, and AI are not keeping up with the pace of the actual technological developments. And I think that that's a gap we should really try to close or at least narrow down if we want to make sure that people will trust the work we do.
What are some ways that you think we could close that gap?
Probably being more open, especially from the big
Mhm.
corporations, which are now hiding all their algorithms very well. So there's no way we would know how, I don't know, Instagram does recommendations, what are the main factors in Google's search algorithm, or what are the data points they understand, analyze and infer from our behavior. So these are now all black boxes. And
Mhm.
probably that would help a lot if we would have any ideas. Of course, that's their business interest to keep their know-how from the competitors, but also it's about us people and our online behavior. So we should kind
Hmm.
of get closer to that. And nowadays, these big apps, due to some regulations, have to provide us our data. For example, you can download all your Facebook or Gmail data. But if I just downloaded my Gmail data a few months ago, it was like 50 gigabytes and very challenging to parse and explore.
Hmm.
And I don't think this is the right way. So if someone who is not a data scientist requests their data, which they can, then they have like 50 gigs of, I don't know, CSV spreadsheets. But then what does an every person does with it? So that's
Hmm.
probably nothing, can't even download or read it. So it's just, they give something because they had due to the regulations, but for the general users, it's as good as having to sign a 100 pages long legal document, which no
Yeah.
one reads and couldn't understand anyways.
And then also just like with the data itself, whether it's hard to find or it's stuck behind a paywall or there's just a lot of secrecy behind it in general. So your solution would be more or less that we kind of have like a homogeneous source of this data instead of trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah, right. Of course, they have business interests, and that should
Hmm.
also be respected. But probably there is still some space from the current status quo where users could learn more about what's being analyzed about them and how do they look like in the online space on these big tech companies' servers.